Hi, welcome back. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the best trader education tool that I've used. And it all sort of happened by a little bit of chance. The ramifications of this tool have been quite profound, actually, for the way I teach and for my students themselves. Again, this links to a Substack article. The link is in the description. So going back to when I was creating the Norden Method website, a key aspect of that was to try and replicate the pathway that I and other professional traders had taken. So, for example, I included some tests and exams in that because all along the way I had to take tests and exams as well, whether they were for the exchange in order to be allowed into a pit, or even as a bank trader I had to take what was called back in the day the registered reps exam. You had to basically prove that you had knowledge of the markets. Most retail traders don't have to do that. So I wanted to replicate that part of things, add tests in, so that there was sort of some barriers to people getting into my courses and into trading, and slow people down and make sure they have the right knowledge. But as an almost afterthought, when I was really, after the main course had been built, I was thinking about some other aspects of how did I learn. And I taught trading at pretty much every investment bank I worked at. And also as a senior trader, I often had assistant traders alongside me and spent, the whole day working with them, teaching them. And what I knew was that even being right there next to someone, each day, every day for, 10, 12 hours plus a day, it didn't mean they were going to be successful, okay? Some of them just didn't have the skill set, the mindset, or just the attributes to become successful. So, and a lot of people think, oh, it's all about personal tuition. Well, no, the wrong person, it's still not going to work. I kept thinking a lot about my own and really trying to break down how I learned to trade and who I learned from. And what got me thinking was, I learned because in investment banks and on the floor, I was surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of traders, and I could learn from lots of them. And even though I had some that I knew better than others and some that I really respected and tried to learn from, I gained something from everybody. And particularly, in a way, with traders that were struggling, I learned a lot from watching them struggle. So with the Norden method, quite late on, we came up with the idea of a subscription area that we called the exchange. And within that, there's a number of elements of the exchange, but one was something we call Grade My Trade. So students were able to send in their videos of their trading. What I would do would go through these and narrate them, go through what's good and bad about them, and then we post them for everyone to see. And this section, the Grade My Trade section of the exchange, has become, in my opinion, I would say even more powerful than the course itself in helping people to learn how to trade. If we think about it, if we're learning to play a new sport, you're learning golf, you don't just look at one golfer, even if it's a great golfer, Rory McIlroy or someone, you don't just watch one golfer. You will watch, lots of golfers, and you may pick up something from a number of them. And you don't just say, well, I love the way Rory McIlroy plays golf, I want to play golf exactly like him, because you may have different attributes. You may be a lot taller than Rory, or you may be shorter than him, you may be stockier than him, or for whatever reasons, you may not be able to get the power in your swing that he does or whatever. So you're going to pick up things from different players. You might like the putting stroke of one, for example. Bearing in mind, they all stick to the basic principles of golf. So the one thing we know about golf is that professional golfers, we know that they're all good. So we're watching people we know good. And it's also, we get the narration from the commentators, who, if they make a mistake, will explain what was wrong with that mistake. That's how we learn a lot of concepts in sport, particularly things like golf, which is quite a complex thing. If you try to explain to someone what a golf swing is in a book, it's quite complicated, right? But we watch lots of golfers, we hear narrated by experts what was good and what was bad, and over time we can put that together. We do that for a lot of sports. Trading, I think, is a similar type of industry in that if you try to just write down, it can be quite difficult. And so with the exchange, my students started to send in videos. Now, the first few were pretty poor. You would expect, traders that were new to it. I would narrate these videos, explain what was bad about them, and explain what was good, post these for everybody to see. And then over time, over several weeks and months, what we saw was as these traders were sending in their second and third and fourth videos, we watched them improve. So this was great for everybody because for a number of reasons. Firstly, because new students could see how that progress was happening. They could see that students just like them were improving. But secondly, they were able to watch lots of students. We now have dozens and dozens of videos on there from a number of different Norden Method students. So now my students are able not just to watch, my trades which are in the course, but they're able to see lots of traders. And like I said, when I was thinking about how did I learned from lots of traders. But what's also important is that they're watching these traders, and they have myself who created the course, and as a professional trader, I narrate what these people are doing. So you're able to see exactly what's right and what's wrong about their trading, and as I say, learn from their mistakes. And that's a really important aspect. So for example, there's a lot of people go on trading forums where people write about what they do, and a lot of people big note in themselves. The problem there is, you have to take for their word that they're doing what they say they're doing. Okay, and for example, what I found with the exchanges, people will send me a video and say, look, I'm doing this, but it's not working. And what I would show was that actually you're not doing this. You may think that's what you're doing, but you're not. So on those forums that you go on where people just write about what they're doing, obviously sometimes there's people that are, complete bullshitters, right? But there are other people that may think they're doing something and they're not. But with this, it's like watching, the golf on the telly, is you have a professional narrating what these people are doing. So my students have been able to follow people, follow their journey, which has given, I think, some people some hope that, yes, look, they can see people improve over time. But also, it's given them the ability to learn from lots of traders. And this has become really powerful, that you're able to see lots of different styles, because everybody, will trade in a slightly different way. And following from that, another really powerful aspect of this is that I have seen mistakes and biases and problems that I didn't know exist. One of the problems about following one person, one mentor, no matter how good that mentor is you only get to see what they do and their mistakes. And by watching more people, even I've learned about mistakes and biases that I didn't know existed before because I didn't have them. That's also helped me to improve the course. I've added new sections to the course because of it. So this whole aspect of Grade My Trade, of my students sending me their videos, of me narrating them, uploading them for everybody, has become the most powerful tool that I've ever used. And I think the response from the students has been fantastic. And it's been a real revelation to me, and I think a massive plus and addition to the Norden Method website. So again, if you're looking to learn, whether it's from me or someone else, is asked to watch, videos and narrated rather than just going on forums and having people chat about what they do and tell you, oh, I'm doing this and it works and that. You will never know unless, someone else, a third party, has actually vetted and seen it and can say, yeah, that's what that person's doing. So this has been a very powerful tool. Really happy to have it on board. And it really has become a focus for the Norden Method and the Norden Method students.